All right, guys, time for another episode. White lithium Euro trash. And today we're going to be doing something we've never done before, and actually something that no one has ever done before, which is change the fluid in the automatic transmission in this BMW as I get increasingly close to actually driving it in earnest. This car has 100,000 original miles on it. And my theory would be that this fluid has never been changed, and therefore it would make this fluid 44 years old. So because it's BMW, you can actually get parts for it. It's kind of thrilling for me to actually be able to find parts on like Saab, which is like part of the joy of Saab ownership is the hunt, But I have a filter, interesting kind of filter right here. It's basically just a screen. It's a fine mesh screen. And super German import from BMW. And we have a gasket. So let's see what we get. This is such a quaint and beautiful transmission pan, retained by 4 10mm screws. Here's our little drain plug right here. That's my big fear, is the drain plug, that it's going to be frozen on there. And I guess we're going to have to disconnect this return line right here. But hoping it's going to go kind of... All right, you ready to play a game of Will It Strip? Gotta feel it, okay? This is a Koken Japanese bit with a Koken socket. Oh my God, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, whoa. I am so curious to see what this fluid looks like as it comes out of here. Let's see if I can get you guys some light so you can enjoy the thrill of the drain, which I love draining fluid out of things because it's like looking at your blood, that's when you actually can garner a lot of information about the health of something. Oh, interesting color. It's not very red at all. So this is, oh, it is red. Okay. I don't know. That looks pretty new. Really clean. Okay. Maybe somebody did change this. That's okay. Anytime I get a new car, I like to put all the fluids to new. Just so that I know that they're starting in a known place. Man. Okay. Well, maybe I'm not going to do that gasket and that filter. Who knows? It doesn't have very many miles on it, and the fluid looks extremely clean. Huh. Yeah. They don't give you a magnet on this. BMW is so confident that they don't give you a magnet on the plug. That's rare. We are also going to do the differential fluid. Oh, God, that looks really ratty back there. I think we might just put fluid in this and not do the filter for now. The thing that's really keeping me off the road is this center link on this steering, which has completely perished, completely gone. Bad situation there. Is it as bad on both sides? No, yeah, it is loose on both sides. But the tie rod ends actually seem tight. It's just this link right here. Now on the 82 and later cars, they moved this ball spherical bearing from the inside to the outside, and I wonder if that was in response to whatever problem was causing this obviously accelerated wear. I mean, like I said, this car only has 100,000 miles on it. While we're waiting for that to all drain out, I'm going to pop these wheels off to see if I can get better access on the castellated nuts that hold on that center drag link. Never had a wheel off this car before. Bought it from an Italian gentleman in towards Chicago. Says he used to own an Italian restaurant. Super BMW enthusiast. He's got BMW all over. Whoa. All right. Couple good things. Somebody has installed a new bleed nipple on here. That's going to come in really handy when I do the new master cylinder. And let's see here. Okay. Yeah, we've got a nice view of the nuts that I'm going to have to remove to get that off right there. Okay, let's go do the same on the other side. Kind of get my wheels turned now so I can kind of maybe get at this cotter pin a little bit. I gotta tell you, your picks and your hose removal tools are like the most important things you could, like I use those as much as anything else in my toolbox. Let's see, but this is gonna be a situation for a pair of side cutters. Right? Do a little side cutter trick where I can just kind of grab it and pull on it. Yep. Grab that cotter pin, pull on it, pull on it, pull on it. Okay. Now we'll go and we'll get a wrench. Look at this thing. And that's your life in your hands right there. Oh, let's see. What does that look like? Maybe 19 millimeters? Maybe 17? Call that a 17. Oh, right. I forgot that I totally destroyed my Hazet 17 millimeter socket whilst doing the starter. There we go. Now we're going to need to give it a little smote with a hammer or perhaps a tool of some sort. It's a tapered fit. Can I torch and hit? Come on, baby. There we go. Okay. Oh. Okay. I don't want to use that heat because I don't want to screw up the one behind it, but yeah. Okay. I guess we can. Man, we're getting really sidetracked here, aren't we? Unfortunately, the parts aren't going to be here for this job until Friday. And actually, I'm getting two of them because look at this. Why is there a newish cotter pin in here, yet it's still completely screwed? I think somebody got into this car because it's technically a really nice car, looked at it and was like, this is fucked. This is going to be a lot of work. And then gave up on it and decided to sell it to me because they basically are like, well, this is a greater amount of work than the car makes sense because obviously this is, this car is destined to be a driver. And I think the guy that sold it to me, he doesn't work on the cars himself. And if you're not going to work on a car yourself, this car is going to bleed you dry. This car is going to break your soul if you don't work on it yourself, and you're paying some, like, no offense if you ever watches my videos, but like totally third-rate guy to work on it. It's just criminal, the work that was done on the car. And I mean, the idea that you would like pay somebody else. Like, I watch Pierre Hadari's Mercedes channel, and I agree with a lot of his sentiment. But if you were gonna pay somebody to do this, like, I mean, oh God, maybe I gotta at least hold this in place so I can do this. Yeah, if you were gonna pay somebody to do all this work, oh my God, it would like make the cars. Come out. All right. So we got that off there. Now to the other side. Okay. Pause. Oh, like I was saying yesterday, I just as I'm making this video for all of you, this is like, making these videos, you wonder why I'm doing it. It's also like therapy for me. I'm going through this incredible period in my life right now, and my divorce is actually finalizing as we speak. And, I'm an entrepreneur, and for reasons which I can't totally explain, basically my divorce made it just demotivated me to try at the thing that I do best, which is, designing mechanical products. And, I have like 33 US patents, and I've kind of been sitting on the sidelines, and that's kind of how I got back into cars, because I needed something to just kind of put myself into while this whole thing was going on. And, yeah. And my divorce is finalizing as we speak, and it's going to be, I think it's the best possible deal that we could have made. I don't dislike my ex-wife, actually, we get along fine. And, but, it's not gonna really work to stay married. And, yeah, so the idea that I'm going to emerge a single man in my 40s here in a few days is going to be remarkable, right? When you've been locked in this sort of tit for tat with a woman for basically your entire life, and I'm gonna have to go back to work, and I think I'm gonna do some of the best work of my life. But we both had lawyers, and at one time I had this fancy Chicago lawyer who evidently had represented Walter Payton back in the day, the famous Chicago Bear. And it was just such an incredible waste of money. We spent, God, I don't know, it's impossible to even say how much money we spent, how much money we wasted, just fighting back and forth with the lawyers, because of course, the lawyers, they love to do it, right? They'll be happy. They're like realtors. They're in business with each other. They all know each other. They all need to maintain professional relationships with each other, right? And, one time I was driving that, I don't know, like a year ago, maybe more. I was driving that VW van to visit my brother in Colorado, and some
minor little document had not been done, and I'm like, meanwhile the guy's chasing me around for another $5,000 bill, and I'm just like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I just fired him. I pulled over, fired him, and then I pounded up Dale's Pale Ale Tall Boy and decided I was going to represent myself. And that was the absolute best decision I ever made, because it broke out of the cycle of just like legal violence, where it's like, I'm going to do something wicked to you, and then you do something wicked to me. When in reality, I just screwed up and made some bad decisions. I was under a huge amount of pressure. I was under a huge amount of financial pressure. A huge amount of pressure with the business. Not that is any excuse, but you know, we have this amazing daughter that we care about. We don't really hate each other. I think some people in divorces do. Like, the lawyers want you to hate each other. They want your case to go on until you run out of money. But so then we decided to move into mediation, and that process was just like so much better, right? Because it was more aligned with the where we truly were with each other in terms and how we truly felt about each other. And we came to a decision that you're never going to be happy, right, with the outcome. But, you know, I think it is the best possible decision we could have come to, and the best possible deal we could have come to. And very soon I'm going to actually walk out of the courtroom a free man. And that's going to be an odd sensation, I'll tell you that much. Time will tell if it was the right decision. You know, because it's tough to say. Perhaps I'll turn around in the future and think that it was the wrong decision. But there are those moments in life where you simply have to move forward. And at this point, the ship has kind of sailed. So, let's see. Maybe this will come out of here without beating on it so hard, this like the other side, but I don't think so. Let's see. Before I take that out, let's try and get that one out there. Sorry, I'm going long form today. Honestly, if nobody actually watches this channel, it really doesn't matter to me whatsoever. The channel is about me speaking into the cosmos, me being free to enjoy what I enjoy doing, and not have anyone in my way. Oh, Lord. Whew. I'm going to need an air hammer. Okay, that ended up taking a little bit more heat than I thought it would. But, all right, now let's separate the other stuff. But how do we do that without destroying it? Oh, do I need to just go ahead and buy these tie rod ends? I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it at all. Whoa. Alright, here's what I need to do. Okay, well, we've gone as far as we are going to go here. Honestly, I think I'm just going to replace the tie rods also because I'm worried that my heat potentially damage them. And I think I'm going to have them off anyways to try and actually separate them from the center link without damaging them. So let's move on and let's just fill some fluid into here. So looks like we took out about 3 liters. So we're going to start with 3 of these from my stock. This is going to be so much easier than the van, which I did earlier. All right. So let's see here. We're just going to come here, get a funnel. We're going to do this get her in there. Amsoil. You know, if it is snake oil, at least it's snake oil that's made in Wisconsin. I don't think it's snake oil. I think it's really a high quality product. The question is it you know, does it justify the premium price? Which I don't think it's, you know, in terms of the motor oil, it's kind of just like, after my discount, it's kind of like $2 more than Mobil 1, and I don't think that's too bad. You know, I've kind of turned against Mobil 1 after the Porsche timing chain fiasco. Yeah, so boy, this is going to be like a new car after I'm done with it. As we were waiting here, UPS just dropped off the new master cylinder, which will precipitate a brake bleed. How much should I take off here? I don't think we're going to go all in with this 3rd quart. We're going to start about halfway through. All right, let's settle in there, see what it takes.